Our new lesson is how to get multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. What's the meaning of multiplicative inverse? If I have matrix A, its multiplicative inverse will be A power negative 1. And anything times its multiplicative inverse equal 1. And 1 in matrices, I call it I. So A times its multiplicative inverse equal 1, which is I. Example 1. If we have matrix A, which is equal to negative 2, 2, 3, negative 4, and we want to get its multiplicative inverse. How can we get it? First, I'm going to get the determinant or the value of matrix A. Determinant, I write it like this, or I write determinant A equal, I will convert this into determinant, it will be negative 2, 2, 3, negative 4. Get the value. Negative 2 times negative 4, which is 8, and 3 times 2, which is 6, and 8 minus 6 equal 2. So the value of A is 2. Now to get the multiplicative inverse, I will write 1 over value of matrix or determinant, which is 2, and I will make some change in the matrices. How? I'm going to change the position of the main diagonal. So negative 4 will be up and negative 2 will be down. And I'm going to change the sign of the minor. So 2 will be negative 2 and 3 will be negative 3. Now if you make the multiply, half times negative 4 will be negative 2, half times negative 2 will be negative 1, and half times negative 3 will be negative 3 over 2, and half times negative 2 is negative 1. This is the multiplicative inverse. And if you want to make sure, make A times its multiplicative inverse, it will give you I. So to get the multiplicative inverse, first get the value of the matrix or convert it into determinant. After you get the value, 1 over the value times and make some change in the matrix itself. Second example, if B equal to half 2, 3, 12. Find its multiplicative inverse if it exists. How can't it exist? If I get the determinant of B, we said in order to get determinant, half 2, 3, 12. Main minus minor. Half times 12, 6. And 3 times 2, 6. And 6 minus 6 will be 0. The determinant or the value of this matrix is 0. So I can't have multiplicative inverse. Why? We said to get multiplicative inverse, I write 1 over the value. So I should write 1 over 0. And there is nothing called 1 over 0, so I don't have multiplicative inverse for B. Our next example. If we have 2x plus 3y equal 7, and x minus y equal 1. What I need here is value of x and y. I want the value of x and y. First, I can get the value by using calculator. All of us know this. Mod 5.1. And I'm going to write two equations. It will give me x equal 2 and y equal 1. But I need to get this value by other method. How I get it by other method? First, I will get it by using multiplicative inverse method, which is, you are going to write first the coefficient here, which is 2, 3, 1, negative 1, times the variable x and y equal the result, which is 7, 1. If you make multiply, it will be 2x plus 3y here equal 7, and 1x minus 1y equal 1. Now I need to get x and y. So this will go to the other side by division. Here it's by multiply. So if I want to go there, I will go by division. But I don't know how to make divide by using matrices. So instead of making divide, I will get its multiplicative inverse. How is that? If I tell you 2 times x equals 6, and I want to get x, you will make x equals 6 divided 2, which is 3, or you are going to make 6 times the multiplicative inverse of 2. What's the multiplicative inverse of 2? Half. And also it will give you 3. So in order to get x here, you are going to make 6 divided 2. What if I can't make division? I can make instead of divide times and use the multiplicative inverse of this number, which is 2, it will be the multiplicative is half. So I can't make divide. Instead of making divide, this will go to the other side by multiplication, but not this, it's multiplicative inverse. Let us see how we are going to get the multiplicative inverse. Now I need to get the multiplicative inverse of this. First, I will convert into determinant 2, 3, 1, negative 1. Main minus minor. 2 times negative 1 minus 3 times 1. It will be negative 5. So the multiplicative inverse 1 over negative 5. Some change in the matrices. Main diagonal will change, so negative 1 will go up and 2 go down, and change the sign of the minor, so it will be negative 3 and negative 1. If you make multiply now, 1 over negative 5 times negative 1, it will be 1 over 5. 1 over negative 5 times negative 3, it will be 3 over 5. 1 over negative 5 times negative 1, 1 over 5. And here it will be negative 2 over 5. This is the multiplicative inverse. So if you need x and y, you are going to go this to the other side. But not this, it's multiplicative inverse. So it will be 1 over 5, 3 over 5, 1 over 5, and negative 2 over 5, times the result, which was 7 and 1. Now make multiply with me. 1 over 5 times 7 plus 3 over 5 times 1, it will be 2. And 1 over 5 times 7 plus negative 2 over 5 times 1 will be 1. So x equal 2 and y equal 1. Our last example. If x minus 2y equal negative 1, 2x minus 3y equals 0, I need to get x and y. First, I can get it by using calculator. It will give you x equals 3, y equal 2. By using calculator or by using multiplicative inverse method. We just solved it in the previous example. The last method called Cramer method. Cramer was a scientist. He discovered a new method. He said delta. Delta x, delta y. What's the meaning of delta or d? Determinant. By using coefficient of x and y. What's the coefficient here? 1, negative 2, and 2, negative 3. So he write coefficient of x and coefficient of y. He gets the value of this. All of us know the value will be 1 times negative 3 minus negative 2 times 2. It will be 1. Delta x. Instead of these numbers, which are coefficient of x, I will write instead of them the answer, which was negative 1 and 0. And leave y as it is, negative 2, negative 3. So when I make this value of determinant, it will give you 3. Finally, delta y. By making the result negative 1, 0, instead coefficient of y. So coefficient of y, I'm going to write instead of them, negative 1, 0, which is the result. And leave x as it is, which was 1 and 2. And when you make the value, it will give you 2. So finally, x will be delta x over delta. This is the rule. X will be delta x over delta. So 3 over 1 will give you 3. And y will be delta y over delta. So delta y over delta, which will be 2 over 1, will give you 2. So x equals 3 and y equal 2, and we get this result before from calculator.